Hi guys, Dan here from JTAG. I am in a 2004 Honda Accord LX, and I'm going to show you today how to do a car inspection just like you would in the shop. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I've got the car pulled into the shop and I'm getting ready to check all of the lights. But while I've got it in here, I get the car running. Alright, and I just want to take and toot the horn once just to make sure it works. Everyone likes the horn to work. It does not. Alright. Yep. Next we want to turn on the air conditioning. Get it blowing. Push it all the way over to cold. Make sure the air is on and check to see if it starts to come out cold. This car's air conditioning is not working. The air is still warm, so we know the air doesn't work. Alright, so this part is usually easier if you can have a friend help you, but in my case, I put a brake pedal depressor in the brake pedal so I can check all the lights and walk around the car.
Right here, I got a bolt or nut that won't come off.
Check the headlights. Got my low beams. Those are good. Alrighty, it's a little hard to tell, but brakes work too. Next, I have to check the blinkers. Good. This one's good too. Alrighty. Good in the back, and this blinker is good too. Now if we get up a little bit closer, we need to check these lights underneath. The tag light is good. Looks like. Alright y'all, we're starting off today with a Hyundai. It's an inline 4-cylinder motor. Alright, so the first thing you want to do when you get under the hood is just look at everything you can. Make sure all your wires look like they're in place, nothing is just laying around or out of place, no obvious drips or leaks right off the back. I don't see anything right off the front, so now you start looking around a little bit closer. Alright, I like to start by feeling my radiator. We got two main hoses. One will be at the top going right into your radiator right here, and you have one on the bottom just under these cylinders you can't see. You want to squeeze them and check for any cracks, see if it's wet anywhere with oil. You want to make sure it isn't rock hard, because that's what it does right before it cracks, or too soft where it'll split. These look fine. Alright. Now the next thing you want to check is you want to check your fluids. The first and easiest you can look at right here is your oil dipstick. Pull it out. It's usually somewhere right in the engine. It's marked with a bright yellow or orange end for you to pull out. When you pull it out the first time, don't even bother looking at it. Just wipe it off. Make sure it's nice and clean. I like to check and see if there's a hot or a cold gauge on here. It's different when the engine's warm. The oil expands and you need a different gauge. Right now it's cold, so put it back in the motor once it's wiped off. Let it sit for a minute. Pull it back out and you want to check your fluid level. It's right above the second dot. It means it's good. You also want to check and see how clean it is. If it's real dark black or if it's gritty, you might need to change your oil. This oil's nice light brown, probably brand new. Next you want to check for a transmission dipstick. It'll be the same thing, just in a different spot. Usually to this side of the engine and a different color. Alrighty, I'm back. It turns out because this is a stick, that the only way to check the transmission fluid is to pull the plug on the bottom of the car. I will show you how to do that in another video. Alright, the rest of the fluids that you are concerned about is your brake fluid, your coolant, your windshield washer fluid, and your power steering pump fluid right here. Alright? First, you want to check your brake fluid. You can see the reservoir here. You can see that it's good on the fill line. So that's good, but if you want to check the quality, there's a second over here that you have to take off, and you can look at the fluid on this. You can get your finger in it either way, but it seems pretty clean. Put that back on. The next is your coolant, the reservoir, and this is right here. Sorry you can't see it. This is the fill plug right here. And it is right at the max line, so let's top this off. Now I can tell just from looking in it that it's a good color, so we don't need to be worried about that. The next check is your wiper fluid. Look at this stick, it is pretty low. I would add more to this, but it looks pretty clean to me. Next is the power steering fluid. Be careful, because if it is hot, this will be under pressure. This is plug, but it also doubles as a dipstick. And I put your fluid in this here, and I can tell just from looking at it, it's clear. It's not dark. I don't see any grit anywhere in these flaps here. I would say it's pretty good. Looking at the reservoir, could use to be topped off, but
Ain't that the same machine over there?
that one's older. Uses different. Alright, we're back. Got the car on the lift started already, but I won't put it up to chest height so I could check the tires. Gotta check the front tires by grabbing them top and bottom, giving them a good wiggle. They're loose. This is loose. Someone did not do what they were supposed to do and tighten the plug nut on this side. That's not good. You can snap a stud that way. Tighten these down, just hand tight for right now. Tighten it back up the proper way before I'm done. Give it a tighter shake. Not too much play. If it was wiggling, there are two culprits. One, the hub, and two, the bearing. So if it was loose, you might tell them, another tech, maybe we should look at this. Next, we want to shake them side to side this way. Checking for your tie rods. Not too much play, look good to me. Now I'm gonna put the rest of the car up. Alright, we're back. I got the car in the air. As you can see, I am underneath of it. And we're getting ready to look at the undercar inspection. So, what I like to do is do the car in sections. Look at each tire one at a time, and then the middle underneath of the car, just check for leaks. Some people like to do the whole car one side at a time. It's just up to you. Alright, so first we're going to look at the driver's side tire. You can get under here. I like to look at the tire first, spin it all the way around. Make sure there aren't any nails or anything in the tire, and it also gives you a good chance to check out the thread. It's real worn on the edges, but the middle is pretty good. Might suggest putting it on the alignment machine and checking, make sure everything's good. Alright, next we start looking on the inside of the tire. You got your bushings here. Okay. I'm not seeing any grease there. I'm not seeing any here. This is your sway bar link. This is the tie rod. Actually, I lied. I'm sorry. But no oil there. Look at the shock. Look to see if you got any wet dirt that might suggest grease leaking out. Looks good to me. Spin this around. Check your tie rod, your CV axle boots. Not seeing anything there. This is your transmission end. Look here. You want to check and see if you got any grease thrown around. I don't see any. This here is your transmission. This is the plug. Now we got transmission fluid on it here. See? It makes me think that this is leaking somewhere. Over here is your oil pan. You feel around this. This is wet as well. I'm getting even a little bit more. Makes me think this is leaking. You want to mark that down in your report. You got your drive axle here coming out of the transmission. It's not wet. Looks good. We come over here, do the same thing. Check this tire. This tire is much better. Give it a spin. I don't see anything. The tread looks pretty evenly worn. It's a good tire. Now on this side, we're going to do the same thing. Check the boot. Looks good. The other side, I'm not seeing any grease anywhere. No wet dirt on the tie rods or on the shocks. So, looks good. Next we go to the rear tires. Now I already shook these to check the bearings and everything. It's not an all-wheel drive, so you don't need to check the axles. When we get back here, we're looking for the control arm and the shocks up here. Not seeing any wet dirt. No grease coming out of the bearings. We come to the other side, we have to check the brake pads and the rotors. Can't really see it, so on a car like this, I would pull off the tire. We come over to the other side. You gotta look up, check your shocks. I'm not seeing what looks like wet dirt anywhere. All of the bolts look good. The tire was good when I gave it a shake. It doesn't look like there's any brake fluid. There's quite a bit of brake dust, which is normal for most tires. Come down and follow your lines. These are your brake lines right here. And this is your exhaust pipe. You want to check and make sure it's not wiggling any. A lot of wiggle is alright, just make sure it's not hitting anything. Make sure your wires are not broken. And I don't see anything that raises too much concern.